Welcome everyone. Oh, good morning and good YouTubes to everyone. Today we're going to be going over a game with Ashes. Solid lowish Onyx player if I remember correctly. So really looking forward to this one. I think he's got a live fire oddball for me to look over. This is review number 3. Go check out the 2 previous ones with Sapes, and looking forward to having more coming forward. But that's it for the intro because we don't really need an intro for this. Let's get this started. All right. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So before we get this started, bunch of questions about your history in Halo. How long have you been playing, let's say, competitive Halo?
Okay. Yeah. So I played a lot of multiplayer starting with Reach really. That's when I had a group of friends who played regularly, but almost exclusively found us playing SWAT or snipers. So this is really my first Halo game where I have played the regular player variants with any regularity. So it's kind of where I'm at. I've played all of the different Halo games, but up until now, it was mostly SWAT and snipers or just doing kind of LAN parties in the basement with Xbox.
I see. And it looks like you've gotten to Onyx last season.
Yeah,
Um,
before the reset, got to low Onyx. Haven't played as much since the ranked reset, so right now I'm kind of hovering between the Diamond 2, Diamond 3 right now.
yeah, trying to get back up there. I
Yep.
see. I see. And then yeah. So are you looking to start competing? Like, what is your short term goals? Coming into this.
Yeah, no, I've got a friend, and we're both interested in just kind of doing some of the lower level tournaments. Just kind of trying to satisfy that competitive nature that we both have. Both of us have kids now, so it's a little bit harder to do things like we used to with sports and whatnot. So just hoping to find that itch the competitive scratch again here, by doing some Halo Infinite.
I see. I see. And you haven't played in any of the tournaments. Have you played in any tournaments like snipers, SWATs, or
Um,
opens?
right, yeah, back with Reach, we did SWAT tournaments fairly often, but haven't done anything since then. So I'll be pretty fresh to that when we do jump in.
I see it. And you're talking about Reach as in the 2011 Reach?
Yeah.
Okay. It's because there's the 2020 Reach when it came out. I don't know what. There's none the wiser when it came to anything outside of HCS. So I didn't know how popping it was.
Right.
All right, and then yeah, you guys are looking to get into HCS, maybe HCS a little bit. Maybe some other small tournaments as well. I
Yeah.
always I always implore people to try to play in the HCS like open cups because like even if you lose, like generally you'll play people around your skill level, and like no matter how good or bad you are, like there'll be like one match where you'll be like, I could have won that, and you'll get that itch to play again next week.
Yeah. No, that's some good advice. I guess I didn't. The level of play that I'm at, I wouldn't think I'm, obviously going to be anywhere near like being really competitive. But yeah, I think just getting some experience would be good.
All right, so I invited you on the game. I need you to join up so I can look at the game that you want me to look at.
All right. Seeing a notification.
All right, you can also invite me. I will send my
Okay.
invite over. Yeah, I've had this issue with some people. I'll try to send you another one, but whoever gets it first.
There we go.
Nice. All right, then I gotta load up a game in order for us to show up in each other's matchmaking or lobby. And after all of that, all right. So you got me an oddball on live fire game to look over first. Do you
Yes.
have any like first-hand comments that you wanted to make?
Yeah, I would say a couple of things. Just one, I'd really like to increase my awareness of spawns. Just being aware of like where the enemy might be spawning, and if there are times when I can use my positioning to help influence spawns, because sometimes I feel like I get caught off guard by enemies being where I wouldn't expect them to be. And then also, specifically in this game, I find myself that sometimes I feel like I'm not trying to just stat, but I feel like maybe I don't pay enough attention to the oddball objective specifically. In this game, I don't think I picked up the oddball at all. So just kind of learning to make those decisions, of, like when to jump in and when to just kind of keep playing to keep my teammates safe who is holding the oddball.
Yeah. Yeah, like the term objective player, like usually that gets involved with the oddball player, like whoever picks it up. But there's a lot of a lot that needs to go around with protecting the guy that's getting the oddball. That's just as important as grabbing it. So which oddball game is it? The most recent one?
Yeah, I think it should be the most recent one.
All right. All right. I will stream to you on Discord. Uh, it's only going to be 30 FPS. So this might look a little choppy to you. You can also look at the stream if you want. Um, might be a little bit better.
Sounds good.
So yeah, we're gonna go on 4 times speed to try to see any tendencies before we start. Then we're gonna go to tac maps, and I'll ask you a bunch of questions about your what you might feel like are your tendencies. Interesting play there. As well as we'll do some spawn questions. Where do you think that people are gonna spawn and stuff?
Great.
So you seem to be doing your part on getting near the objective, which again, just as important as getting on the objective.
Yeah, and I guess I feel like in this game, whenever it came to the ball, getting picked up by your team, a lot of times I just wasn't the first person there. And then there were other times when I, just didn't pick up the ball because I felt like picking it up would have been the wrong time. Just trying to get control of an area, wait for my teammates to spawn before just picking up the ball, I guess.
Yeah. My opinion on that is that it is generally never wrong if the ball is under you to pick it up and influence its direction towards something more positive.
Yep.
Um, a way that I like to think of it is a lot of the time the ball gets stuck in bunker, and you might want to fight for bunker control. But instead, if you get the ball to here instead and then fight, the play becomes a lot different and a lot more advantageous for you because you can turn corners and you can also maybe get the ball to a play position. And so generally, if you're ever like standing on or right next to the ball, something good is to pick it up, throw it to the next place, like the next place that you want to get to, and then do whatever you wanted to do.
Right. Yeah, and that is something I've been trying to incorporate, especially now that I've kind of gotten down like being able to actually throw the ball with some distance. And that was something I didn't understand when I first started. But yeah, I definitely something I try to keep in mind when I'm playing, just to help with ball rotation and like you said, getting us into a better position.
All right, so we're gonna move over to tac maps real quick. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, like any bad routes. something that I bring up to everyone is that while you are an individual, you playing your life means so much to your team. I notice that sometimes you give your life for the team, but generally that's just it hurts your team more than it helps your team. And
Yep.
so one of the instances I saw was in bunker. You got shot a couple of times, and the ball was around big door, and you're like, oh, I got to go help get the ball, like go to the ball and do some damage, and then you died crossing towards the ball, and it's that idea that you have to do something that kind of gets you killed and messes up your team. Um,
Right.
so I didn't notice too much that I can go over as things that you did explicitly wrong. Everything seemed reasonable the whole time you were trying to play around the ball. The biggest things that I noticed is you being stronger as an individual. Usually, in these reviews, there's like two different types of people. There's the people who are very strong individually. They slide around a lot. They are able to take on multiple opponents and still live. And then there are people who are always positioned in like a somewhat reasonable way. It's very hard to find both. I've actually only had one so far, but that was off stream and stuff. That was really proficient at both, and it was really hard to like come up with good things to talk about. But for you, yeah, it did seem that you had a tough time again from watching it for 30 seconds to a minute. It seemed that you had a tough time influencing the game in a meaningful way, in the controlling spawns area. I definitely saw that.
Yep.
Uh, and then, yeah, the biggest thing was making sure that you're doing the most that you possibly can. So we'll get into
Right.
that. So first
Okay.
off, you said you had some troubles with spawns. Um, we'll do something like this. So the ball, put a circle up here. Let's just put a circle here. So a fight is kind of happening like this. Let's say the three guy has the ball.
Yep.
Um, let's say blue and red have 2 dead each. Where do you think these guys are going to spawn?
The enemy.
Let's say that your blue team
Yep.
and they traded around the same time. What are
Okay.
the main spawn zones in this situation?
I would feel that the enemy would be spawning B side.
So you think something like this?
Oh wait, I had my map flipped around here a little bit. Okay, I see now. I would expect them to be spawning maybe over by like overshield,
So
that
you,
kind of area.
so you think that they're going to spawn here? Is there? Let's go to the blue team first, and then I'll ask you more questions.
Okay, and then I would think that blue team would be spawning um probably B side in this scenario.
So back here.
Yep.
Okay, so why do you think that the red team is going to spawn, let's say, in this zone?
Right. I guess just based on where the living members of the blue team would be, feel like that spawn point would be closer to their living teammates and further away from where my living teammates would be.
Yeah, so you think that it's connected something like this.
Right.
Okay. In my experience, it is more of a random situation
Okay.
um, where this isn't an exact science. This is very tough. But people have a general area of influence where this entire map is not being influenced at all. Wow, that's the worst box. All right. It's not being influenced at all because no one is close enough to it to have any influence. I would say that the ball is probably the biggest influence here, and let's do a red. Let's do another white for the ball. So the ball has an influence of probably about, I would say about this big, where it has some slight influence, meaning no one is going to spawn in this white zone. Um, the red player probably has a blocking influence of probably about here, like some small semblance of blocking, and the blue team, also probably about here, as them blocking, right? And now they're kind of influencing a spawn, like a possibility of a spawn here, but the influencing doesn't really matter in a situation like this. And the red team also probably has one. Oh, that's not good. About this big. But again, there's more blocking than there is in influencing of spawns. And so what'll happen is it means that both teams can spawn anywhere here.
Okay.
Okay. And then when when a player spawns up, let's put the red team down here just to make it more obvious that, there's no influence and they can spawn wherever they want. Once the first red guy spawns here, again, he'll have a blocking influence of about here. And so that means that the blue player can spawn anywhere in this area.
Okay.
So that's the general idea of it. Um, Especially in oddball, I would say. There's a lot of different reasons for a lot of different spawns in all the other game types, but this is probably the most common occurrence. As you get trades, your teammates are pushing towards the ball, and then you end up as the. How do I clear this? We'll just do this. Um, so yeah, you as the blue player. No, we said red player over there. Yeah. So you as the red player spawn green, or you as the blue player you spawn a bunker. Either situation, this happens all the time. You just have to know that when you spawn here, that your opponents spawn here, and how you want to play around that idea doesn't really matter. You can go up and fight towards green, or you can just say, I know that I am free to do this for a very long time, and come in and collapse on the side. Doesn't really matter,
Got
and
it.
that's just up to you.
So if I was one of the living blue players in that scenario, would you say like the most helpful thing would just be, okay, generally understanding if I notice that there's two down on each side, that the spawn is going to take place on that right hand side of the map, and then just try to see where my first teammate spawns in, and then assume that the enemy are spawning in the other spot?
Yes,
Okay.
and one of the biggest things that I do, and that I'll probably try to talk about in the game if it ever pops up like this, is that when these players are making this push and these guys are 5 seconds off spawn, the biggest thing isn't worrying about the spawn specifically, like where exactly they're spawning, as long as you know that they're going to spawn somewhere behind this line. It's that you want to cut off their ability to help. So if they do spawn green, you want to have cut off like this wall so that they're not able to see. So instead of pushing these players back tower, just because they can spawn here, you'll see that players push this direction instead because it's a line of sight that's getting blocked from green. And then
Got it.
as you kill these players, as you move up, and maybe they play the ball, maybe they don't, or something. Let's say you have one guy live, right? All of these guys die. This player turns around, and these players are here, and so he knows instantly to turn and look this direction.
Makes sense.
Yep. So that's the biggest thing about the spawns is like they're not necessarily influent or important to you right away when they just spawn, but knowing where your teammates have spawned is the biggest thing. It's like knowing where you spawn puts them in a spawn area, and then where they moved after that. I mean, you can just use your idea because the ball was around this spot, so they're probably going up here. Um, and so it's all about just like constantly thinking about where did they spawn because like 5 seconds ago, so where could they be now as well.
Right. Okay.
But
So
just knowing that their ability to spawn like here,
mhm.
exactly where they're at 5 seconds after they spawned.
Right. Okay. So would you say that you use your teammates spawn as kind of like the main thing that you would then use to deduct where the enemy spawned?
Absolutely.
Okay, got
Absolutely.
it.
The second that I'm okay, I turn and look because I can see my teammates through walls. I turn and look and see if they're doing something, but also where they're at. And then I just know to look, wherever they're not.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's something I've been trying to incorporate is if I have a moment to just kind of turn around and look for where my teammates are when they're coming back so that I kind of know. I've been treating it more of like, okay, now I know where my teammates are, but then now trying to just take that extra step of saying, okay, if they spawn there, then that means that the enemy team that was dead is going to spawn likely over in this other area.
Yep, exactly. All right. And then we'll run through the other situation. One that pops up all the time is something like this, where there's two dead each on the team. Um, can you tell me your thought process on where they're spawning? Red is, we'll give the blue the ball this time. So
Okay.
the ball is here. Where do you think that the four players are going to spawn?
I would be thinking dummies or a river spawn for either team.
Yep, and it is pretty much like it is a thing like this. It's probably more so like this, I would say, of influence. The only difference here is that the ball is not in the middle of the map; it's in the corner. So the radius of the ball influence is something like this, maybe a little bit wider as well. Um, so it just means that they're not like again they're going to spawn behind this white line for the most part, except this time it's going to be a little bit like this, and maybe like this. Um, and so there are going to be instances where the red team actually gets their teammates spawns back here.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just one of the instances where the ball is not in the middle. Like if the ball was right here instead, that would probably block the green spawns. Because again, the ball has a huge denial of spawn influence. But those are the generalistic ideas of where they're going to spawn. Again, it doesn't matter which team spawns where and these little ideas, right? Because blue and red could get either spawn.
Yep.
It's just like one the first person spawns and it's a random in the big box, let's say. And then the other team is like, oh, I can't spawn in this small box, so I'll spawn in the other small box. It's again, this isn't an exact science, just general tendencies that I've noticed.
Right.
All right. Um, we will walk through a little bit of how I think the game is played. Um, So one of the big things is that you guys have a fight for bottom mid. I've noticed that a lot of the times something like this happens. Um, yeah, something like this, where you guys pretty much have like four people fighting for ball, and whoever kind of ends up winning the fight brings the ball back to their side. Let's do colors. So they'll try to bring the ball back, whichever side they win. Um, and then you get some time, and then you kind of get collapsed on because you just don't have the numbers to compete. But generally, you bring like the blue team brings the ball back bunker, the red team brings it back, and then you try to play the ball. But the whole idea, I think, behind ball in this game is to bring the ball back to whichever side you can, get about 20 to 30 seconds, and then try to make the game a little bit harder for your opponents to get the next 20 to 30 seconds.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you feel that yet in the tendencies of the game, but it comes from the idea of you've got to set up around the ball guy. You get points by holding the ball, and so you're down a player for the most part. And then you're also getting collapsed on for most of the game. Like it's very hard for
Right.
the team holding the ball to like drop the ball and say, oh, we're in a 4v4. It's like no, it's better to just get that 10 seconds while they're trying to kill your teammates. And so that's the general way. If you get the ball to tower side, right, you can play the ball and then go right back to this idea of the two teams fighting over the ball bottom mid. Sometimes it's one team gets it cleanly, but most times it's like there's a little bit of resistance set up. But the whole idea is like you want to get the ball off bottom mid so that you can get that 20 to 30 seconds, and then if you play it or some other way of setting it up. But as the team not holding the ball, like you'll notice that you're gonna. I notice that you're this one guy all the time. Where let's say that you guys get a kill on the guy bottom mid, and like you're weak, your teammate gets the ball and he brings it back this way, and then you're set up around him.
Yep.
This is like very reasonable. A lot of the times you're gonna die, but the whole point is to slow them down just a little bit. And the way that I put it is to do your best. You're not expected to destroy the other team. Uh, if you want to rank up in this game, like as you're going through the diamond ranks and into low onyx and like low onyx up to even higher onyx, like you are expected to beat these diamond and low onyx players in a fight similar to this. However, like theory wise in the game and how it's supposed to be played, all you have to do is slow them down and make yourself a hard kill.
Yep.
Again, just do your best, and then the game just kind of generally works well in your favor. But if you just like run at this guy and lose a fight, like that's not doing your best, right? Uh, if you win 80% of the time you do this, like congratulations to you, you're gonna rank up. Um, so those are just like generally how I think about the game. It's like you want to parry with this guy, see if multiple people are pushing here. Maybe cut off the angle and then run away. So he's useless and maybe help Morse and bunker side of the map. Like there's options that you get to do sometimes that like is the reason as to why you don't want to just take a straight 1v1 out here, as well as
Right.
the idea that you get that 20 to 30 seconds, but you dying instantly means that your team only gets that 10 to 15 seconds instead.
Yeah.
Whew.
No, that's something that I've been trying to incorporate more is like just from having watched you do a couple other video reviews is just playing my life and picking my 1v1s a little more carefully. But um, I feel like still that's something I have to work on because there's times when I die and right after I die, I'm like, okay, I really should have played that safer, just done a little damage and backed off instead of trying to take that fight all the way.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of questions that get asked to me, like I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I feel like I'm too slow to the positions that I want to get to, and I get it. It's all of my philosophy goes back to do as much as you can without dying.
Right.
And I know that that's a tough idea to incorporate, but like dying too fast really messes up your team a lot more than being a little bit slow. Compared to other Halo games. In other Halo games, it was super important to to like move forward as fast as you can, do as much damage as you can, die, come off respawn, do the same thing.
Yep.
Just be that little bit stronger. In this game, it's all about setting up with your team, and so we'll get into it now.
Right.
Round one. The longer you hold the skull, the
So starting off, why are you not spreading? Just the first thing I see. What? Hold on a second. You're just giving a casual walkthrough.
we have the ball.
Ooh. Second guy comes out. I get it. It's tough to die like this, and you can blame it on the second guy. But I also want you blaming it on your mechanics not being as quick as you needed to be to make a play around this, like to get around the corner or something. And it's probably just one of those. The game just started, but it's got to get into it. So I get both.
An ally has slain the carrier.
So I'm not seeing this on Discord,
Oh shit! Shit!
so
Shit!
it's a
Shit!
little bit delayed watching on the stream.
All right, let me know if that works for you.
Um,
I will leave and come back. One second. All right, now is it good?
I'm still seeing an orange screen.
All right, so I need you to leave and come back.
Okay.
I think that fixed it. Hey, thanks OG
Alright,
for the sub.
let's see. Okay, now I'm seeing it.
Now you're seeing it. All right, back to the first death. I mean, you saw it.
Yeah.
Yep, so never mind. Not back to the first death. Move on to the second life.
We have the ball. Ball drop.
There we go. So again, you're coming off spawn, and for the most part, you should be sprinting off spawn.
Okay.
Like in most situations, I would say mostly, or like in this game, you're supposed to be sprinting, and unless you're holding an angle, like holding a choke.
Camo available.
Because you can just like slide around corners really well, and that really messes up your opponents.
Yeah.
Very nice fighting, very nice.
Yeah, Discord is not working again.
No, don't tell me that. All right, what I'm gonna do is invite you to a server, and maybe just going to a server instead of a call will be different.
Okay.
All right. Can you see?
Yes. All right.
All right.
Yeah, and I guess just kind of going to what you were talking about. I don't know why I wasn't sprinting at the beginning there, but I know that sometimes off of spawn, I felt like earlier in the game, like not this game specifically, but when I was more first starting to play, is that I would just start running off of spawn and I really wouldn't take note of like where the game flow is at. And so now, in addition to like cycling through my teammates' points of view while I'm dead, I feel like I've been trying to take like a little bit of time to just get a feel for, okay, here's where things are at. But I guess that's probably something I should still try to be moving quicker off of spawn while still gathering that information.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can definitely get that information, and then right when you come off spawn, you should know where your teammates like what's happening. So the area that you want to get to first. So sprint towards that area, and then as you start feeling more in danger, you can play around with whatever. But in my experience, I've seen that like when you're sprinting around the map, the instant that you like run into a battle that you weren't expecting to, like if you're coming up to ramp, you can like slide into tower one, or maybe like slide into the wall and back up. Like there's so many different like slide techniques that you can do in this game that don't punish you for sprinting as much as you would like expect to be punished for it.
Okay.
Ball dropped.
This is all reasonable. Like again, this you can come back and say that you could have played this a little bit stronger.
Yep.
Is the term I'm gonna keep coming back to. And I know like again you were just getting started in the HCS, and like shit, you're reasonably placed for that idea, because you know this is the first game that you've taken competitively.
Yep.
But in this fight, like as this fight's going bad, your teammate dies and you're half shield, you should be playing closer to the wall to jiggle and make this situation a little bit better for you. And even while you're doing that, you can use grenades. But as you put yourself out in the open like this, grenades are no longer an option because you have to continuously shoot.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I
so
wasn't
here,
expecting the guy up nest, I guess.
yeah.
I probably should have thought, there might be someone coming up that way, so I should play this back a little bit.
Yeah, and even like in your game, you can even see that there's a guy nest like as you walk into this situation,
Yep.
and so you can react quicker because again, you're still strafing away from all the cover that you have.
Right. Yep. Didn't react fast enough there for sure.
Yeah, and so during this, it's gonna be like, yeah, you can play the situation stronger, but that's going to come with more gameplay. It's just about holding yourself accountable for it, because a lot of the times in these games, in these situations, you'll be like, I tried to help my ball guy, but there's two of them and I died. Right? That might be something that goes through your head instead of like, I was a little bit weak there. I could have played my life just a little bit better and, you know, maybe done something off of it.
Yep.
So yeah, just make sure to hold yourself accountable during these situations.
We have the ball.
So here is a situation that, wow, I like this. So there are 3 alive, you guys are 2 alive. What the hell? He just sniped his teammate?
Ball dropped.
So, okay. I was gonna be like, this is really nice. You're waiting for your team to spawn. I mean, your teammate, you know, he's going. But
Right.
but you were waiting for your team to come off spawn, which is like reasonably solid.
Yep.
And now you guys should be moving as a group towards the ball.
We have the ball.
You're kind of just chilling for some reason.
Your
Yeah.
ammo reserves.
It's interesting,
Ball dropped.
but
Enemy has the ball.
I guess I feel like sometimes coming from cuts there when they're positioned back tower, that I end up like just getting shit on because I feel like it's a harder position for me to be running across the open right there while they can just peek up from the ramp side. So I was probably just playing that a little too scared there, I guess.
yeah, you're just holding this angle a little bit. I would say that you have to play a little bit more forward and closer to your teammates. So when they're making this push, you're right behind them. You'd also come up this P tunnel and fight from this angle.
Yep.
But the idea is like at first was you're doing a great job waiting for your teammates, but then you waited for your teammates and then you didn't go with your teammates.
Right.
So
Your
Yeah.
ammo reserves are depleting.
so I know that angle kind of sucks for you, but you guys have like an idea that you guys want to push, which is the ball guy. And so you have to go do that as a team. If you kind of like, if your teammates died before you got there, it could have, like, this situation could have gotten much worse for you guys. This is good. You get 1 shot, you get your shields back.
Head and not that head.
You should probably be looking to fight.
Enemy has the ball.
So where the
Yeah.
hell were you going here? I think, did your teammate have the ball somewhere over there? I think your teammate, runs away with the ball. Okay, I don't mind this
Yep.
as much. You know,
Yeah, and I guess here I should have been more aware that they were still maybe going to jump down on top of me, but I thought that the length of time I had waited, that the enemy team had either gone towards nest or top mid.
Yep.
We're going to drop down pillar side, so kind of got caught off guard here by this guy jumping down on top of me.
Yeah, and again, your first couple of months in this game, absolutely reasonable to mess this up. You're like, all right, the action's gonna happen around the ball guy. I need to go protect the ball guy, and you die doing it. Absolutely fine. All right. Again, you can make sure that you like. So here you could be like, oh, I heard this guy. I don't know if your headset's like super good, but you can hear these guys above you because there's 2 of them jumping around and stuff. This guy even slides behind you, and so once you
Yep.
hear that, you can turn around. So again, there's a lot of ways to hold yourself super accountable and to the idea that we want to play stronger, right?
Allied. Carrier down.
Just individually,
We have the
just
ball.
making sure that you control yourself.
The lead.
At the same time as, you know, you seem to be doing a good job of listening to, you know, what I've been saying about like waiting for your teammates, waiting for the situation to be well, and making sure you live your life.
Yep.
I never
Like macro, did you ever play like StarCraft or anything?
I did not.
Ah, shit. Any like real-time strategy games?
No.
All right, so this one's gonna be a little bit harder. So I always come back to this idea. There's 2 different ways like to think about the game like holistically. Is you have a macro sense of the game and a micro sense of the game. So the micro sense of the game is like how hard can you play by like as an individual? How strong are you, right? And then there's the macro sense of like where do you fit in your team? And so making sure that you are perfecting both of those crafts is very important. They're like equally as important.
Right.
active camo inbound.
So this push, again, like this push is fantastically timed.
An ally has slain the
I
carrier.
actually want to go back and talk about this a little bit more, and you're freaking my camera out. It's not like this. I like the
Yeah.
spot.
It was freaking my camera out too.
Yeah. So wait. So this seems very good. Yep, very fucking good. Very good. Nice. And now this is a situation where if you mess around, like the best play for you in this spot is to mess around in this block. Just do circles around it and mess with your opponent.
Yep.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. Nicely done. And so doing this, it slows this guy down and your teammates are able to get the ball out. Now you can argue that, like, again, as you move up the ranks, maybe you just outright kill this guy. Maybe you just outplay him enough to kill him. However,
Right.
like, theory wise, like if I'm watching a top Onyx or a diamond player, doesn't matter. That play, like, in theory, was perfect.
Okay.
I liked it, but we'll go back and talk a little bit more about this situation. So you guys get the free kill, and there's a ball guy coming out. So you guys are crushing in this fight. A guy comes up behind you. You get scattered a couple of times. God, this play is so good. All right. I don't think I've ever seen this spot. I've seen similar spots because it's non-collidable for the most part.
Yep.
Yeah, but I've never seen that spot specifically. So yeah, I actually thought I was gonna have something for that. I mean, there is a little bit. So again, a little bit stronger here is like the second that you get shot, you could be a little bit more sprinty. You kind of just like zone out for a little bit, trying to figure out where it's coming from. But like after that, everything again was super solid. And then again, as you get used to this play here, so you work on the kill. As you get used to this play will be like become a lot better. Making sure that you maneuver around this so that you're not as weak. Like again, this is very strong, but it could be stronger. And I'm excited. Like I hope you're excited to be able to, you know, mess around so hard here that you end up actually just winning the fight.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely been trying to improve my like individual mechanical skills in the game. But I feel like sometimes I tend to overthink things. I'm a pretty analytical person, so I feel like sometimes that slows down my decision making and use of mechanics because I'm trying to think too hard. But I have noticed that slowly I've been getting more to the point where like my instincts take over and allow me to play faster.
Yeah. And so for instance, in this play, like the grenade's nice. You have another brute grenade. Probably not that you realize it. But as you're like jiggling up and down here, like as you turn to see nothing and you know he's further to the left, you can like pop up, shoot, and then crouch again and then make your play. And so maybe you get a 2-shot melee in the middle of this. However, like for your rank, this is an amazing play. And I want to keep coming back to it because like you get to see the potential in your play, but also see like how far you've come. Like with the idea in mind that you just want to do your best to live. So I love it.
Halfway to victory.
So coming off spawn looks like this situation is mostly tower side. So the ball guy's gonna be tower in here. You're looking for spawns, which is fine. So here's that situation that we talked about pregame. Is the player died on Obi, your teammates are spawning here. Let's see where the spawns happen after you almost win the battle. Where is he spawning? There he is. He spawned back tower, like closer to nest. But again, he spawned like right here, which is just about where my line was in the game when the ball is top tower back there. And then I think your teammate ends up spawning. Your teammate spawn behind you in bunker. I just gotta point this out. Yeah, right back there in bunker. So those are the two spawns that we talked about beforehand. And so when you like, if you win this fight, like I think in this one you can just assume that your teammate spawns bunker and that your opponent spawns green because you guys are going to be closer to bunker than in the situation that we brought up.
Right.
Going back to the fight though, because we didn't go to the fight at all. So here you're pushing a little bit early, and I know this is going to be hard to recognize in the game. Because you guys did get a kill, so maybe it's time to push. But you do have one person who is still on spawn and one person who just came off spawn. So when you're taking these battles, you should be a little bit more wary. Because you kind of just put yourself out into a position that if you get collapsed on, like on this guy, then you end up dying instantly. But if you played back here a little bit while waiting for your teammates to spawn, like, yeah, it goes back to the idea of you wait for your team to spawn and then you push, or you wait for your team to get in a good position and then you push. But here you put yourself into a position that you couldn't back yourself out from. You tried to a little bit, and he just W keys at you the whole time. But
Yep.
but yeah, that comes back from the situation where if you put yourself here, the guy could have either suicided, or if you're losing the battle, you turn the corner and then your teammate comes off spawn and bunker and saves you.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Double kill.
So here's the same situation. You guys were fighting at tower. You spawn green, your opponent spawn bunker.
S7
Look at that.
sniper available. This accolade is well deserved. All right. Allied carrier down.
Oh no!
Let him get away.
Yeah. That, I mean, dude, I'm the king of letting people get away. So I get it.
S7.
So your teammate is pushing, and there's this idea that you want to get through through that area of uncertainty and force the fight to happen in front of you. So we talked about it a little bit before, but I just want to show you the situation. 2 of your opponents are dead here. And so now if you create that line of where your opponents are going to spawn, you spawn before them and your teammates spawn before them. And so you should be moving as fast as possible to get through the zone of uncertainty to go fight the ball guy here.
S7.
And I know this doesn't quite make sense, and this situation doesn't always appear as fruitful as this because sometimes there's 3 people alive on the other team. So this doesn't look good. But you have to like know your numbers and also your teammates shipping it. So you kind of got the reason you got to follow them up is to get through that zone. And so I'm gonna go back to attack maps really quick. Oh shit! I didn't realize I'm still on C2. All right, I'm gonna go back to attack maps. I'm gonna change windows, change the screen to 1. Can you see the attack maps?
Yes.
All right. So your opponents had 2 people dead. So you are number 3, and your teammate's number 1. And your 2 teammates were dead. So there's this zone where, again, it was, let's say, right down the middle of the map where you can't spawn. Like, yeah, you basically have to spawn in the white zone over here. So when you spawn and you're able to get past the zone, you have to keep going to make these people who are coming off spawn irrelevant until you get into the position that you like, until you fight these guys, basically. Right? So as you guys are going, look at them. They're trying to catch up, but you guys get to take this fight before they get up there.
Okay.
So this is kind of how it looks. And hopefully you guys have engaged 2 and 3 before these 2 guys are in a good position in order to fight.
Got it.
So there's two different ways to think about this. One of the most important things I look at to figure out whether or not we're winning a fight or whether or not I can do something is the kill feed. So
Yep.
So you saw 2 people were dead on your opponent's team when you were coming off spawn. So that means that you spawn near this white line. You have to get going as fast as you can. If your opponents rotate the ball away and you guys can't do anything, that's okay. But the whole idea is to make these people obsolete for as long as you can.
Okay. That's a good way to think of it.
All right, we are going to go back and hopefully it doesn't mess up again. What do you see?
Attack maps. Let me see.
All right. And what this time?
Now I see the game.
Nice. All right. Yeah, if you push up there, you can get the kill. And now, yeah, because you waited so long, the guy got to like nest bridge way before you got to a position back tower here. So just just an idea that might come up more and more and more. That's so loud. So again, some weak shots here, huh?
Yeah.
Like really good first, like 4 to 5. Oh, you just had to reload. Not that weak.
Yeah.
Say yeah. You played this game.
Double kill.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate reload time right there.
Yeah, very reasonable. Could you have reloaded? Yeah, here you can like move forward while reloading.
Yep.
And you do get punished for it. I will say that I don't reload often. I would probably do something similar to this. Or I would sprint, reload, and if I run into a battle, I slide, and that instantly cancels your reload animation.
Yep.
And then if I run out of ammo, what I'm doing is I'm using any object that I can to get a reload in mid gunfight, which is very fine. I've noticed that it like doesn't hurt at all. So here, when you get into this battle and you have to reload, yeah, you kind of I don't mind it. You weren't expecting to reload, so you like took a strafe left. You're like, I'm gonna pop him, and then you're like, ah, shit, I have to reload. So you went this way. But I can usually like fit a reload in just behind this pillar real quick and then pop back out. So like not reloading is okay. You just have to have the mindfulness to not reload, like that you're going to have to reload eventually.
Double kill.
And so this is solid. It's very solid. Yep. I like this. Yep. Ah, I just missed the melee.
Yeah.
That was all very solid though. Like you shot in the back, you know, you don't want to turn around, you know, like maybe there's a guy weak or maybe I can catch a guy off guard, make this guy a little bit obsolete. This is all very fine.
Yeah, and I was hoping I had the lunge at that point, but guess not.
Yeah, there's one question as to where the ball was during all of this. It was right there.
Right on the ground, yeah.
Yeah, so there is some, yeah, you walk right over the ball here, which is fine. This is all fine. Again, even with the ball being there, I'm still very fine with this.
Double kill.
Yep. And then as you get shot right there, it's like but you know, this isn't going the way we want it to. As soon as you get shot, and so you can just play the ball here.
Yeah, okay.
We have the ball. You're quite lethal with
Very nice shots, very nice play.
active camo inbound.
So you have that idea of you think they're gonna spawn over there, which is reasonable. It's pretty much where they spawned.
Active camo available.
So we'll go back to saying fine-ish. You know, it still is weak, but you're kind of expected to be weak. There's nothing I can really say about this play specifically, other than like, you know, faster. How do I put this? It's like faster reactions on how to get away from the danger. So like as soon as you get shot in the back, you should be like sprinting away. You're kind of just like slow walking and strafing out to the left here when you're should be sliding more towards this area. And then you can like make your decision. You can turn around, throw a grenade, or you can get the ball off the map. You can pick up the mangler and do something with it. Like any decision that you make is fine, like after you get away from the danger. But you're slow to get away from the danger because you take that wide route.
Right.
That you just like there's nothing you can do afterwards.
Yep. Yeah, and that's something I'm trying to be more mindful of is like even if I don't see the guy coming out through tunnel when I start running, just maybe like, okay, what if someone comes out there? What's the best route to take?
Yeah.
And so that was a situation where I didn't do that.
So your teammates are fighting with ball. I mean, the fight's going reasonable for them. You cut off this guy. This is all fine. I usually don't like fighting this position, but it seems fine.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my thought process here was didn't see them coming up from like overshield side, so I assumed they were going to come top mid, and I was just hoping to kind of ambush a couple people as they came through.
Yeah, and that can be okay. You just have to be certain that everything on that end is doing okay. Which maybe you were, maybe you weren't at the time. But it does end up playing out okay in that situation, and as long as you get your kills. And so here's a bit of a question: so like, why did you not finish his kill? Did you think you could like see him from the single?
So I think I checked, but I believe he jumped off the bridge, and that's kind of what I was assuming he was going to do right away.
Well, he's got to go so far to get off the bridge. You get the first couple of shots, and you can be moving forward during this. I'm sure you
Okay.
don't know where the fourth guy is, but like,
Right.
but even right now, you could still like maybe get the kill, still maybe get the kill, still maybe get the kill, and now he's down.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think I might have just been a little too cautious about another guy coming up
Yep.
top mid.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I don't mind it. The one thing that you want to take into account is looking at the kill feed. Right here, you guys got 1. Right here, you guys got 2. And you're currently fighting the 3rd guy, and the 4th guy is over here doing his fuckery. Right?
Right.
So now you know that there's not going to be 2 people, and so you shouldn't be scared. And again, that comes back to what I said earlier, is like, you have to know the kill feed. The kill feed's super important.
Yeah, I'm trying to get used to being more aware of the kill feed.
Yep.
Just something that I still definitely struggle with, always keeping an eye on.
Yep. Bro! This guy's shooting right behind you, and he's just like, yeah, I'm chill, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, ears in this game for seem to be your biggest thing that I can tell you that will instantly improve your gameplay is trusting that idea. Like how you have awareness as to like the things that you are afraid of and things that you are looking for, and the sound is what gives you factual information. And then you're just like kind of disregarding it a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, I think sometimes once I've like committed to a decision in my head, then I have a hard time quickly changing that decision as the situation evolves, I guess.
I absolutely get that.
Enemy has the ball. Killing spree. We have the ball.
And the ball's here.
I guess
Sorry.
another reason I chose like this game was this was a game where I felt like I was kind of just slogging through it. Like there are definitely games that I have where I feel like every decision I'm making is working and I'm thinking quick and all that, but I definitely hit games like this too often. So that's kind of why I thought this might be a good one to go over.
Yeah. So great shots. My only tidbit is that like you kind of have this. This is gonna be a tough one to communicate, but you have the same battle philosophy where you see someone, you shoot someone. No matter if it's a fight that you're going to get help in or a fight that they're going to get help in, you're kind of not playing around the ability to use objects at all. And so we'll show it slowly here. It's like you turn this corner and you fuck this guy up. But even like you can even see the guy behind him in this situation. But even if you couldn't see him, like I want you to use these pillars and just go back and forth. But you kind of you're out in the open here, and then you start like just doing a reasonable strafe. No crouches or any random stuff thrown into it. But fine strafe. Yeah, so that seems to be my biggest thing about your gameplay is like there's like these little things that like as you're moving up the ranks, you'll start noticing yourself pick up. It's like being able to use all the objects to use your strafe, like to help your strafe, you know.
Right.
As well as trusting your sound and like incorporating these small things, like you're gonna start shitting. You're gonna start moving up these ranks faster.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already moved up the ranks fast. Like I'm impressed with how you're playing.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Like I said, playing a Halo Slayer variants for the first time. So I don't really have a lot of FPS experience at all. So kind of my first real push into playing something with a longer TTK since I only played SWAT really before.
Yeah, and I can see that from your movement. Your movement definitely like reminds me of like SWAT snipers.
Yeah, I'm trying to get used to not jumping as much in this game as I used to.
Yeah. And so even here, like this is a very solid last couple of seconds where you help the ball guy get out of bottom mid, you got your kill. And then here you get shot and you can, like your one shot, you can use this little wall just as like a piece of cover, just to make him question whether or not he's going to kill you. And then you can come back out or something. but you kind of just like strafe back out into the open and make it a little bit easier.
Right.
Like almost got to a pillar, but still.
Double kill.
And then they end up winning off that, right? Right? Oh, there it is. Kill him! Nice. Grenades! Grenades! Blow the place up. Yeah. That is... I think those are that's the second thing that I want you to work on is grenades.
Okay.
Like you're at a corner here, you can stop shooting and throw a grenade as you turn the corner to like, so half your animation of your throwing grenade isn't like you getting shot at. So you like you stop, you throw a grenade, cut the corner, come back out, and then doing that like just makes it a little bit better for you.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
but like again, like macro wise, you're doing everything like mostly absolutely fine. Where are you at?
There we go.
Incoming.
Wait, where was that? What did I see? What the hell? He just like
Ball
he
incoming.
slipped it over.
Almost over.
I didn't even see you sprint. You're sliding. Interesting. Interesting theater game.
Ball drop.
Yeah.
That's fine. What the hell is your teammate doing?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I guess he's alright. He's one shot.
Yeah.
Ball drop.
It's fine. But yeah, you're just like, yeah, my teammate's got top mid control, right?
Yeah, and I didn't realize he was weak that fast. So.
Yeah. No, I didn't even either watch it in theater. So this is all fine. I assume you're waiting on camo or whatever the power up is. Yep. And then you get shot.
Yeah. There, I thought that I saw somebody up by sandbags, so I shot the grenades up there, and then just got distracted and didn't notice the guy coming up behind me.
He gets a good three shots and he misses before you move.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yep.
You're quite lethal.
But again, as you play more, your reaction time to that's gonna be a lot faster because you're coming from SWAT, you're dead instantly. It's like
Right.
Ball drop. We have the ball.
fine. There's a camo scatter. Camo scatter.
And here.
Oh god, no! Oh no!
His repulsor. I thought I ran over the invis, and then it just launched it away from
It was funny. I saw it. Yeah, right here. It's like this is what you see moments before disaster because you can see the repulse on the ground.
An ally has
And
had
I've played
no
enough of
idea
this
that I
game.
picked it up.
Yep, I've seen enough of this game to know that you're going to repulse that camo every time. Then you're like, oh, camo, come back! You're a little kid, you're 5 years old, chasing the ball across the street. Come back, ball! It's just a car comes around the corner, fucks you up.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm fucked at this point.
Yep, this is all fun.
And
You
if I
can-
had thought ahead, I could have repulsed the grenades away, but again, utilizing the sandbox is not something that I've mastered yet.
Nah, yeah, not even close. Like, I completely understand it. I mean, even as we as pros get better, we haven't mastered the sandbox, not even close. The only other thing, like the easy thing that you can do here is, yeah, the repulsing of the nades can be pretty good, but you can also just repulse yourself straight up, and you go
Right,
flying, and that's really annoying to deal with.
Yep.
That's what I like to do in situations where I know I'm dead. Is just to get that couple extra seconds, you know.
Right, yeah, just kind of a scuffed play overall.
Ball dropped.
All right.
Double kill. Ball out of bounds. Ball in.
So I'm gonna ask you a question at the end of this game, and I want to see it because I've been keeping track of it, and I want to see if you've got it.
We have the ball.
So yeah, reasonable fight. And now as you get your shields back, you should be going to bottom mid. Yeah, like playing around your ball guy. Very nice kill. Very nice 3 kills. All right, and here is where your mind should be like, we just got 3 kills. I am spreading out the map. I'm making sure that we know where they're spawning, and then we play around the fact that we know where they're all spawning. You don't really have to hunt the last guy down specifically. It's more so say like, all right, I got the 3rd kill. I'm going out to here and saying there's no one out here. You don't really have to calm that there's no one out here, but you being in this position, your teammates will look at you and be like, oh, they're probably coming from the other way. But I'm going to assume that you kind of sit here for a long time and just kind of die.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
Yeah. Because you're like, I'm one shot, you know, a guy could come kill me from any way.
Yeah, and then the ball guy came to
yeah,
try me, so I was like,
Yeah, you're like, Yeah, pretty much. I guess question mark. And so yeah, this situation, like I talk about the 20 to 30 seconds that you should be getting, and I think that it comes from you not spreading out as much. Because you guys, let's say you guys started at 23 here, and you guys are gonna end around 37. God, I'm so good. 39. and it comes from the idea in this game, like the theory behind it is you want to get your 20 to 30 seconds. 30 on the good end, 20 on the bad end. But not getting to that 20 means that somebody made a mistake. And here, I mean, it was your teammate for dying like a noob, but also you for not making it easier to, you know, rotate the ball away or to say like, hey, the danger is coming from that side. You kind of just like put your team in a corner. Because and I would say like it comes from the idea that you guys killed 3, so you can run around the map in whatever way you choose. Just look for an engagement, kind of, but you're not looking to take the engagement there. You're looking to say, here the guy is, and run the fuck away.
Gather information.
Yeah. And so that'll help you like set your team up to get that 20 to 30 seconds.
We have the ball.
Very fine. Yep, use your wall. I wouldn't use the wall that hard, but all right, very fine. It's like you use the wall to say like I can stand here for a long time, but then you usually strafe back out.
Okay.
You want to have an idea, like you want to have eyes on the situation.
Right.
So, like being able to see it's the most important part.
We've lost possession.
All right, so you guys got controls. Very good. Looking very good. I like the rotate. Yep, you guys are rotating away from the danger. Very nice. Okay, very fine. Yep, very nice. All right, don't hate yourself. You're fine. Oh.
Double kill.
Oh no, ball guy.
Yeah.
Ball guy, no.
It off quite a ways.
So this is all very fine. You're gonna die here. I do remember that you die here, and it's like. You guys looking at your positions. This is absolutely fine, especially because you have a scatter, and I think they also have the ball here. So like this situation is very fine for you, unless you die. It's like,
yeah. Yep.
Yep. So, like being a little like if I'm critiquing a top Onyx player, I'm yelling at him for this because that's probably his own like the biggest mistake he's made the entire game. Your play, like from your point of view, that seemed fine, and I'm not upset in the least about that. I just like it goes back to the overarching idea that you get yourself into a good position and then you live. And you've been doing that reasonably well, you know, especially for your skill level. Like you're doing that over the top. That's not what we're here to focus on, it seems, because you kind of have that idea solidly in your head.
Yep.
And so dying here, it's like, oh, it's a mistake because the game didn't seem obvious that you were in trouble here. And so again, very fine.
Okay.
Like I don't want you to be upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was pretty upset with this game overall, but that's why I was really excited to hear your thoughts on why it didn't go well.
Yeah.
Hostile carrier down.
Ball drop.
And so here, this is the situation. This is the opposite situation. All right. So you came off spawn, and I think you guys end up slowing it down a little bit. But I just want to show you that you come off spawn. One of your teammates is dead. You guys do get one, but that's 2 of your teammates dead. So here, this is a very, very hard situation to push in. Even at like, I know your teammate's going for it. And he's gonna be an idiot. He's gonna die. And I want you to be like, my teammate's an idiot. He's dead. I'm not also dead. Here.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like sometimes I feel pressure if I see a teammate push that I'm like, okay, I have to be a team player here. I have to try to help him. But like you said, me living is probably going to help the team more than helping a guy make a stupid push.
Yeah. And so like, look how hard this is. Like you guys kind of pushed in, but now you guys are one shot. Now you guys are in like, you're in that zone of uncertainty. You haven't passed through it. Like that line in the middle of the map, and so that this guy's spawning behind. What the fuck were you? What was this? Oh, you saw. Okay, I was gonna.
Yeah.
You were kind of just like, I'm big chillin'. Like, you know, I have my camera in a decent spot. It's like, oh, players. I thought you were prepared for this guy, and you kind of were. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
But no, that's solid. And now, but now you gotta go. You guys got 2 here, right?
Hold on to
You
that
guys
and
did
we
get 2
win.
here. Yeah, your teammate gets 1 in the middle of this fight. So like after this fight, you look at the kill feed. It's like we got 1, or we got 2. They got 1, and so I need to be going. I know you're kind of like I need to make sure that I keep my shields, and which is okay, you know. I think that perfect play here is like running forward to an engagement as fast as possible to help collapse with their team because look at them, they're ready to go.
Yep.
Solid play again to be safe, get your shields back, then go as fast as you can.
Right.
But
We have the ball.
you're kind of just like lackluster here,
Yeah.
just a little bit. And it comes to the fact that your 2 teammates are dead and now you're too slow to get in. And this is not an easy situation. This is absolutely like, especially as you're just learning, this is a very hard situation to recognize and to play as perfect as you can.
Right.
But when you guys do get 2 kills, like in any game, you guys get 2, they get 1. 4 seconds passes, you should be schmoving, getting your ass out there.
Yeah. Definitely.
We have the ball.
And if you did here, I think you would have killed both of these guys with your teammate, because you would have been the first contact, and then your teammate would have came in. Your teammate, don't get me wrong, again, he threw. Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw him die, I was like, "Oh no, I gotta back up."
Oh yeah. Once he dies, you have to back up. Like I mean, maybe you can just get a trade and be like, whatever. I'm not here to blame. Like I can't blame any of this on you. I can also say that you could have won this game for your teammates, like being a little bit stronger in all these situations,
Right.
being a little bit quicker. But at the same time, you are playing very reasonable in all of this.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a game where I felt like it was winnable if I
Yes.
had just played better. And
Yep.
so that's kind of what led me to be like, okay, this is the one I want him to look at.
Yep. And so look at this. You and your teammate died, and look at your teammate just fucking go. And he goes
Yeah.
through rat, and he's taking an engagement, and he might even get a kill, but he's gonna die, and it's not gonna be any good for your team. Yeah, like your other teammate's also kind of doing the same thing, and he's dead. Like this is the idea that I want you to recognize when you're in that front position. It's like my 2 teammates are dead. They have more than 2 people alive. I need to wait for my teammates to come off spawn.
Yep.
So I guess aren't you camoed here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, I gotta get there as fast as possible, which is fine. Very fine. Absolutely fine.
Victory.
Alright. Again, I liked what I saw out here. I think that the biggest thing that you need to focus on is the mechanics that come into the game. Like the mechanics that come into Slayer. It's about using the objects mid-gun battle to make the game harder for your opponents to shoot, make the game more difficult for them, as we saw when you were when you were here and your opponent was pillars, you cut the angle faster, you turn around, you throw grenades, like the game just becomes harder for your opponents. And I'm not gonna say you're gonna win the battle, but you're gonna give yourself a chance, and like giving yourself a chance is huge. You know, the more chances you give yourself, the better it gets. And so that's pretty much where I want you to focus on. I'm not saying to neglect the other side, because like the other side, it still needs some work, and still needs like like as you said when you first started, you were like, I need to focus on, or I like to focus on living. I like to focus on the things that you've said. I just feel like you feel like you're a little slow, a little aloof, a little just like a little out there, right?
Right.
And I absolutely see it. And working on that and timing your pushes with your team makes the game very easy for yourself. But I think that you're kind of almost there, right? There's 2 parts of the game. There's the micro part and the macro part. And I feel like you're kind of doing a disservice to yourself by really putting all of your focus into the macro aspect, that you're kind of just like making yourself a little bit slower on the micro part.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, and I definitely have games where I feel like I play fast and like, get more kills, do a lot of damage, stuff like that. But I still have a lot of these games too where I could just tell, when I finished the game that I was that I was playing too slow and just making some inconsistent decisions that, ultimately didn't allow me to contribute to my team as much as I should have.
Yep. And so I want to ask you, going into this, um, I was keeping track of this throughout the game. 12 minutes of gameplay, probably like 10 minutes gameplay. How many times did you curb slide in this game?
And I think 0.
0. Now, I'm not saying that you have to curb slide, but being able to be faster than your normal self, like just imagine just giving yourself a speed boost in the game. Like
Yep.
it's very useful. How many times did you
Right.
slide in the game?
Maybe 2 or 3 times, and they were probably pretty useless slides.
Yeah, you had one slide that was back tower that didn't make any sense to me. Like when you first started the round, it just like you just like slid right here. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you had one like coming up P tunnel. I think those were the only two.
Okay.
And yes, very useless slides. I again like these are the aspects that you're kind of doing a disservice to yourself in. Like sliding is a huge part of this game. For example, if you're here fighting someone, like instead of like I mean, first of all, you would stand out here and you'd take the fight from here.
Yeah.
As you get better, you're gonna use this object to fight, and then as you get even better than that, you're gonna like slide behind the box and then slide back out, and then slide back behind the box, and like you're gonna be like, God damn, do I feel strong once I do that? But
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely feel like just kind of being new to Slayer variants of Halo that I spent maybe too much time just trying to focus on getting my like accuracy and aim better and ignored most of the other mechanics and things like, poking out behind natural cover and taking shots.
yep, but again, I am very happy with what I see in the macro sense. Like you are on the right path to getting it,
Okay,
and
that's good to
it's
hear.
it's looking very good.
Good.
How proficient would you say you are at sliding and curb sliding?
Um, I would say that with like sliding down just like sloped surfaces, I tend to do quite a bit more. So like in a map like Aquarius, I'm using it quite a bit, but curb slides definitely not something that I'm very good at.
All right. So yeah, let's go into a game. We have 10 minutes left. And again, I think this is something that I can help you out with right away. I have nothing specific left to talk about in the game.
Okay.
In that game. So let's run around a map for a little bit. Let's get you used to it. You get that invite?
Let's see here. No.
All right. I will send you. Oh shit! What the hell? Send you one more. But if you can't, just send me an invite.
All right. Just sent you one.
Ash just invited me. Oh, that's on Discord. Interesting. All right. Toss over the party leader.
Let's see. How do I get that?
Select, click on me, and then promote.
Yep. There we go. It was down below. Just had to scroll down further.
All right. Fire's probably got the most curve slides. Let's go mess around with it.
Sounds good.
Oh.
Slayer.
Alright, so the easiest ones are probably in bunker.
Okay.
Bunker side. So there's... Yeah, so come meet me in bunker.
Okay.
Earn more kills than your opponents to win.
So just off this little square, just get a little bit of a curb slide going.
Shield inbound.
Did that too early.
Yep. It's a tough timing to get used to. There you go. A little bit. This one isn't like a super slide, but you definitely feel it. And then you can hit a jump afterwards to get up the stairs.
Right. Nope. Too late.
Hitting the pole.
So you just kind of like, do you just try to stand pretty far to the edge so you don't bump the pole?
Yeah, pretty much. There you go. That's it.
Okay.
It's like super simple. This is just like the beginner one. Just like I use these ones off the starting strat
Okay.
just to get a little bit faster.
Got it.
And then yeah, like another one is coming down these sandbags here and hitting this all the way to green. It's a little slow. I don't know if you can feel it.
Yeah.
Should be able to get like all the way to back green off of it. There you go. And then if you time your jump well, like you keep a lot of your momentum.
Okay. So like, what's the best point to time your jump? Just like.
You can practice it, and then once you feel that the
Get a feel.
velocities, yeah, get the feel of the velocity slowing down. You time it, just a little jump. It's probably like a, it's very quick. Yeah.
There we
Oh, there you go. You're gone. So this is a
That
good one
one's
to get. That's a good one to get the bearings going. Like
Okay.
I start like as you get better, like there's this one where you can't just run off of it and slide. I mean, you kind of can.
Yep.
But like as you get on taller and taller ones, you kind of have to hit like a little zigzag, and you just go flying.
But like when you run off the box, you kind of. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of have to like go right, left. Like here, look at me.
Whoops.
Like so, I'm looking this way, like I'm going this way, but as I'm falling, I'm turning to the left. So I go
Got it.
a little bit like that.
Okay.
And I'm one of the least proficient curb sliders, but it is just something that you have to have in your game.
Yeah. If I didn't hit the wall there, I got that one. Whoops.
No, this one's tough. This one you're gonna be like, oh, I got it 2 times. I can do it every time now, and then you just like can't do it for 10 more times. Like I don't.
Right.
I wouldn't be worrying about that one practicing. But there's like other ones, like if you spawn here, you can just like you can time your jump to hitting this slide, and you just go flying. And then off this one, you can slide over to here. But like getting these little things just stops you from traversing this great like a cavern, like not cavern,
Right.
just a huge open field here, and it gets you
Yeah.
gets you going from one place to the next, like a dangerous place to a place with an object that you can mess around with. And then the other one, like mess around here with this next boxes. So I'm gonna come up dummy ramp, or here you come up dummy ramp just to see what it looks like. Like start trying to shoot me, like just like take a fight with me. Like I just like turn the corner and then slide back out. Like this
Right.
looks stupid on your screen, right?
But it makes it harder for me to track you and consistently deal damage. So.
Yep. And so like I want you to like pretend like you're shooting top mid and you get shot from dummy ramp and like just slide behind the box. I know it's stupid, but like
Inbound.
like as I'm coming up the ramp, I turn and shoot you, and then you turn around the corner and try to slide behind the ramp. And then yeah, you can do something like that. Like as simple as like you turn the corner, you crouch, you come back up, like
Yep.
like that.
So is it possible to be like to slide sideways and stuff like when you're strafing?
It's mostly like using objects to slide out. So like here,
Yep.
I'm sliding while turning.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that just looks stupid from this guy's point of view. So even if this guy gets a shot, let's say like, oh,
Whoops.
watch out, bound. But yeah, as this guy's coming up dummy ramp, if he's only able to shoot you once, for instance, and then you go behind the nest boxes, yeah, those boxes, and then you come back out with a slide. It's almost as if you're in a 1v1 and you're just in a better situation than him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So you can even like shorten your slide up a little bit.
Yep.
Like yeah, let go of crouch a little bit earlier. Oh, I went flying. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's it. So that way, if it still looks bad, you can get behind those boxes again, and just just things as simple as that.
Okay.
And then yeah, do this one from the top of nest to back green. So you can be on this ledge up here, right here.
Yep.
And hit the slide all the way back to here. Yep. It's got a feel for it. Yeah. And see, like, I'm not saying that I want you to use that pushing someone, but if you want to get to back green before you, like, instead of, like, running all the way back here and, like, maybe sliding down here, again, slide, like, yeah, you can just hit that slide and get down just a little bit faster.
Yeah, so just learning to traverse to areas that I need to be faster, you know, wasting less time.
Yeah, because I know that there's times where you felt scared pushing something, and and so you just didn't, but instead, like, there's ways to push it faster.
Yep.
Yeah, another one here is, like, on this rail, you can... I suck at this one. I hit it in game all the time, but I can't hit it, like... Not again, there we go. You can, like, slide all the way back to green.
Spike obtained.
Yep, this one's finicky. Yeah, so a lot of the times what will happen is I'm going to come up to green boxes, and I take this battle here with this guy, and I'll be like, ah, shit, I can't do this. And then you just go, wee. Oh, shit.
Okay.
So, like, just something as simple, like, just being able to, like, have this in your repertoire means that you can now come to here without being afraid of dying, right?
Right.
Is that you don't want to just swear back, like, ah, shit, I gotta go back. Alright, anything else? Anything else? Yeah, you can use like anything, like even it seems like you can't so let's say this tire box here, it feels like you can't just like slide off of it that well.
Yep.
What you can do is hang on to the ledge a little bit. I just can't do it. I can't do it when I'm talking about it. I just gotta do it naturally. But yeah, you can like, woo, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can if you don't like I think there's like lips on the edge of objects. I don't know if you like feel it when you sprint off of them.
Yeah, I do, and I think I was watching a Shyway video. It was kind of talking about those lips and how they impact like certain boxes for sliding. So.
Yeah, and so instead of like running over the lip, you can already be past it, and then turn the corner and slide better.
Got it.
But yeah, that's pretty much every like small thing. Like again, if we want to recap, it's like it's basically like what I want you to focus on for the most part. Not that I want you to take away from everything that you've already learned macro gameplay, but like micro gameplay, it comes back to like really focusing on being able to be as strong as you can. So focus on listening to your sounds, like trusting your sounds, because you have ideas in your head about where your opponents could be, and then you get factual information by the sounds, and you're just like, yeah, don't need to use those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just like incorporating all the mechanics of the game into your gameplay. I know you're starting to learn with the equipment, and you know I'm not saying that you have to be perfect at those. Just recognize that, oh, I had a repulsor, maybe I could have done better.
Right.
You know, I have a repulsor in green a lot of the time, so like I'm capping the base, and like I'll say, do you have frag grenades right now?
Yes.
All right, go nest bridge and throw an aid in here, and like I'll just sit here and stare at the window.
Yep.
Boom.
Nice.
And so I'll be able to cap the stronghold just that little bit better. But like being able to just do everything just a little bit better, you know.
Yep.
You'll start
And
to feel it.
Yeah, I need to use them more because right now it's like it takes too much conscious effort for me to use some of the equipment in certain situations. and I just need to use it more so that I don't have to think about it. It's just a reaction almost when I
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you should expect yourself to have all of this down very quickly. It's just like what you've got to work on next, because again, you're in Diamond as this being your first competitive game that you're playing, the first competitive
Yep.
Halo that you're playing, which is, you should be like happy about that. And then as you got to Onyx as like an accomplishment for last season, which is incredible. And so now working towards doing that again, these are the things that you can really work on to solidify your improvement going into
Got
that.
it. Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely good points and things that I can definitely see that through our review of my gameplay. So
Yeah.
really awesome stuff for me to start keeping in mind and working on.
Absolutely, man. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Thanks so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Have a good one, man.
All right, you too.